Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story that came out on CBS News December 7th, 2018. Some of you may be aware of the fact that Officer Danny Pantaleo, that's the officer that choked Eric Garner to death, he is on trial for that murder. And it has already begun in New York. I don't know if many people are following this or not. So this is an article that came out that, just giving his mother's reaction, who you see in this paper that's being hugged. Eric Garner's mother reacts to seeing her son's murderer appear in court. Now, he tried to get out of this whole thing, and of course, the union was also trying to get Danny Pantaleo out of the whole thing, but it was overruled and they decided to move forward with the trial. The mother of Eric Gardner, who pleas of I Can't Breathe in 2014 became a rallying cry against police brutality, said Thursday, she felt sort of numb being in the same place with my son's murderer. Gwen Carr made the remark after an administrative judge announced during a brief hearing that the New York City police officer accused in Garner's chokehold death, which was an illegal chokehold, Daniel Pantaleo, will face an NYPD disciplinary trial next May. The judge rejected demands from Pantaleo's lawyer to delay the officer's department trial in Garner's death until July, when time runs out for federal prosecutors to file civil rights charges against him. They're trying the usual trickeries, and, it's a good thing they did not allow him to get out of it. Pantaleo, wearing a dark suit, didn't speak during the hearing at the police headquarters and lingered in the trial room with his head down as a crowd, including Garner's relatives, emptied out. Garner's mother said she wants the police department to fire Pantaleo. Yeah, what they did, y'all, I don't know if any of you remember this, but they kept him in the police department, but he was doing a lot of desk duty and he was not on the street. And others who were involved in her son's arrest. Pantaleo, who was white, is charged with reckless use of a chokehold and intentional use of a chokehold in Garner's July 2014 death in Staten Island. If convicted, the 33-year-old Pantaleo could face punishment ranging from the loss of vacation days to firing from the department. That's not much of a punishment, okay? You get to keep your job. Excuse me, you get to keep your job, but you get no vacation days. That's not a punishment. And even him getting fired is not a punishment. He killed someone. He should be in jail. He was stripped of his gun and badge and placed on desk duty after the incident. Garner, a 43-year-old father of 6 who was unarmed, could be heard on an amateur video shouting, I can't breathe. And if you remember, the Hispanic guy that videotaped the whole thing, they put him in jail. And they start stalking him over the video. As Pantaleo placed him in an apparent chokehold after officers stopped him for selling untaxed cigarettes. That should not be no more than a damn fine. That's really not much of a thing to go after a person on. Garner suffered a heart attack in an ambulance and was pronounced dead at the hospital. Okay, Pantaleo's lawyer, Stuart London, said the officer used a takedown move taught by the police department, not a banned chokehold, and will be vindicated. Yeah, you'll vindicate them because you're a bunch of devils. His union issued a statement blaming the 350-pound Garner poor health and resisting arrest for his death. That's not what I saw on the video. I didn't see his poor health take him out of this world. I saw a chokehold do it. This case demonstrates the danger and that is inherited in prejudging incidents absent all of the information that must be considered in order to come to a truthful and accurate conclusion. Union President Patrick Lynch, who's that is a demon right there, said in a statement, "Let me tell you something. Eric Garner, at the time that he was killed, he was breaking up a fight. He wasn't really doing anything illegal at that time. So I don't know why resisting arrest and all of that other stuff would even be a factor. They should have just left him alone." Lynch then attacked Garner's health, saying it was so poor that it was highly likely that he would have died if he decided to flee police instead of refusing to be handcuffed. That's a stupid statement. Lynch is not a doctor. He is the president of the most corrupt police department in America, the NYPD. He's not a doctor, and he's not in any position to even make that kind of statement about anybody. The exertion and stress would have overcome his already seriously ill body and would have resulted in his death. Again, Lynch is not a doctor. He is the union police. He's the president of the union for the NYPD. He's not a doctor, not in any position to make that kind of statement. "We can't listen to the noise," he said, CBS New York reported. "Let us listen to the evidence. We are going to bring before us evidence that Officer Pantaleo did exactly what he was trained to do." What, kill? Kill unarmed people? Is that what you trained them to do, NYPD? Pantaleo's union, the Patrolmen Benevolent Association, said the officer had used the least amount of force necessary. No, he didn't. He was down on that ground, putting everything he had into that chokehold. We all saw it. He didn't do no least amount of nothing. And that Garner couldn't have been subjected to a chokehold because his autopsy showed that his windpipe and hyoid bone were intact. So what? He still said he couldn't breathe. Okay, that doesn't take away from the fact that he said he couldn't breathe. An assertion the medical examiner said was wrong. The city's office of chief medical examiner pushed back at Lynch comments, saying that it stood by its original forensic investigation and determination, which found Garner died from injuries, including neck compression. The NYPD decided in July to go forward with the disciplinary proceedings. That's only because the feds had put pressure on them. That's the only reason why they're doing this. If they could get away with doing nothing, they would have. Saying it was running out of patience with the federal government's indecision about whether to bring a criminal case. State grand jury or Staten Island chose not to indict Pantaleo after Garner's death 4 years ago. Police Commissioner James O'Neill, who was the final say on officer discipline on Tuesday. "We want to get this done." So, ladies and gentlemen, anything the police do as far as punishing or doing it, you see how lax the punishment is. No vacation or a firing. That shit ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. Who the hell would be satisfied with that? He killed someone. Oh boy. Please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.